Hello and welcome to the 22nd episode of the Realist Podcast, a podcast about our real list. I'm your host, Ellis.
And I'm your host, Gloria.
And today we have a selection from technically both of us. You put it on the list, then I picked it.
Yeah.
Because I said, we just did Hot Fuzz, we need to do the rest of the trilogy. I haven't seen the other two. You've seen this one.
I have seen this one.
This is Shaun of the Dead.
In my opinion, I think I liked Hot Fuzz better.
I was going to get to that. I think Hot Fuzz is the high point of the trilogy anyway. This was the first of the trilogy, I think. Released in 2004. Obviously, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. Written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. Directed by Edgar Wright. And starring a whole bunch of other folks, including Kate Ashfield, Lucy Davis, Dylan Moran, Bill Nighy, and Penelope Wilton. Which nobody's named Penelope anymore. Penelope is kind of a nice name, honestly. But there's no way to shorten it.
Pee-pee.
Yeah.
Come here, Penny.
Yikes.
I mean, you can call her Penny.
Edited by Chris Dickens. I thought that said Charles Dickens, and I was like, damn, he was a zombie too? They brought back a dude to edit their movie. Anyway, yeah, so this had a budget of all of $6.1 million.
And it made $30 million in the box office.
Which is pretty good for something with a tiny budget like that. It obviously...
That's insane.
It did not hit the levels of Hot Fuzz, which were... What was that? Hold on, let me check that. Yeah, 80 million.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz was definitely...
Still pretty respectable, you know? 2 nominations at the British Academy Film Awards, ranked third on the 50 greatest comedy films. This is, honestly, it's a pretty good movie.
I like this movie. I mean, yeah. I like zombies in general, but, like, a movie about zombies is always a lot better.
I haven't seen very many zombie movies, despite the fact that I love zombies as a concept. I mean, I've written... 100-page novel about a zombie apocalypse, but...
Have you ever seen World War Z?
Of course I've seen World War Z, but it's like one of the only ones that I have seen, because
we need to watch more zombie movies and stuff.
Well, because I read the Zombie Survival Guide, that's like my favorite zombie book ever.
Loved it.
And then...
I finished that book in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then you never finished World War Z.
Never. It was just too much.
It's kind of plotting. It would do really well as like a... HBO.
I honestly liked the Survival Guide better.
The Survival Guide is very interesting. It's not your typical book, you know? But, I mean, this is not a Max Brooks podcast, but that's my favorite zombie media. And, of course, I watched World War Z because I was like, alright, what is this? You know, I know it's not, like, relevant to the book, really, but I wanted to see it just because. It wasn't a terrible movie, but, you know, that's...
Well, I think it's on the list.
I don't think it is because I probably wouldn't put it on the list. I don't think it's good enough for me to go back and watch. No, the only other movie with the word world in it is actually The World's End, which is the third member of this trilogy, which we'll be watching next. I feel like it's been almost too long because we took a week off here. We watched this last week. I feel like all my good thoughts on this have disappeared, but I mean,
there's not much really to say about this movie. I mean, it's your kind of typical British movie about zombies. What more do you want?
It has all the same actors.
Has all the same actors. It's kind of like watching an episode of Doctor Who. You don't know what it's going to be like the next day.
An episode of Doctor Who, and it has all the same people, and this is just a Doctor Who without the Doctor. Actually, I did like the fact that this was a... sort of like normal people dealing with a zombie apocalypse. I don't know how typical that is in a zombie movie, but I do, like, my frame of reference is World War Z, where it's like, oh, you're the doctor, and you're the medical
cure.
doctor. Yeah, he knows what to do, and, whatever. It turns into this big thing where they show off, like, the world-spanning consequences of the zombie virus, whereas Shaun of the Dead is like, oh, here's these, like, 6... I won't even call them friends, like 6 people who know each other, trying to deal with a zombie apocalypse and
to survive.
And making summarily terrible decisions, but all, like, not stereotypically, like, horror movie bad sort of decisions.
What was your favorite part of this movie?
Okay, so favorite part would probably be when they're in the Winchester before the zombies break in. Just sort of trying to deal with each other,
Yeah.
you know? Because I think this movie is good at the sort of social aspect. All the characters, they seemed, for the most part, like normal, flawed people. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody's perfect. Yeah. Everyone's screwing up. People are putting either too much trust in people or too little. Not working it. Like, Shaun is not improving on himself, which is how the movie starts. Which is a relatively slow piece of the movie. Yeah. But I don't think that's to its detriment. When Shaun fails to do the reservation at the beginning and screws that whole thing up,
I would have killed you.
No, you would have killed me, but if you were him, if you were in his shoes, like, doesn't it seem like a reasonable thing to have happen? It's not like he gets distracted and plays video games forever. You know, he just has a lot on his plate that day.
I mean, yeah, there was also a lot of miscommunication as well.
Yeah, the voicemail.
Yeah, between Ed. He didn't really specify when he wrote down the voicemails.
Well, by the time
he got
home to see the voicemail, it was too late. You know, he should have done it the night before, but, you know, if you're not used to doing that sort of thing, like, I'm bad at that, too. You know, I can book on a restaurant, but I won't sometimes think that far ahead and think, like, oh, it's going to be all stopped up, especially if it's, like, a normal day. You know? He got screwed over. You're staring at me angrily, but, like, I'm trying to say that it's a normal thing that happens to normal people.
I'm just letting you know.
You're letting me know? Yeah.
Don't ever.
Yeah, or
if I tell you to make a reservation, you make the reservation as soon as I tell you to.
Well, see, the thing is, we live together, and you can stare me down until I make the reservation.
You're right, and I will do that.
But it's just... It has a way of portraying Shaun as someone who's not goofing off.
He's just got a lot going on.
Yeah. He has his stepdad, which he does not like. His friend, who's a total disaster. His other roommate, who's a jerk, and a job that sucks.
And the only bright thing he has in his life is his girlfriend, and he fucks that up, so...
His girlfriend, who is so
out of
tired
his league.
of it. Yeah. Well, okay.
Out of his league and tired of it. Just saying.
And his mom.
And his mom, yeah.
Was his mom not the sweetest thing imaginable? Like, she's
so nice, and the thing is, she was, like, trying so hard for Shaun and his stepdad to get along, and she was like, no, this needs to stop. And I'm just like, but what if he doesn't like him?
Well, I mean, they made up right before
he died.
Yeah, and was reanimated. I really like how innocent she was to, like, the whole ordeal. And also the very quintessential, like, oh, dude trying to hide zombie bite. And, you know, by the time she got bitten, absolutely knew what happens when you get bitten. Mm-hmm. Because she'd watched it happen to Philip.
Yeah.
And she was like,
sure she's also heard it on the news, too.
Yeah,
before the TV's cut out.
Yeah, but she didn't understand before Philip turned, or else, like, you know...
She wouldn't have known.
Yeah. And she wouldn't have wanted to leave him behind, I'm trying to say. And she was just like, oh, I didn't want to make him upset, you know?
Mm-hmm. You didn't want to upset him. Which is like, oh, you're so sweet, but you're gonna die anyways.
Yeah. And
I mean, you could do a Walking Dead style, where you chop off their arms and break their jaws, so they're just like this.
So they're just like a pet that'll follow you around.
Yeah.
Actually,
I mean, it worked in The Walking Dead, because that's what Michonne did. Her two brothers got turned, and she put them chained them like dogs, and she walked around with them, and she was incognito because she was surrounded by their scent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ed got chained up, played video games.
Ed, no! Just...
Yeah. Just goes to bite him. Hey!
Stop that!
Oh my god. That was...
And then him just...
Yeah.
Just
What is it with Nick Frost's character and dying or almost dying at the end
And
of
just
movies, or
being,
death fake out at the end of movies.
I don't know, man.
It's two. Let's see if it happens in the third one. Nobody spoil that. Um,
Is he in any other movies?
Nick Frost?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a fairly well known actor. Hold on, let's see. What else? What else have we? Um, Attack of the Block, Paul. Um, I know he's been. Well, maybe I just know him from this, but Penelope
Tinky
Grindhouse, Paul Attack the Block, Adventures of Tintin, Snow White and the Huntsman, Ice Age. He was a voice.
Who was he in Ice Age?
He was Flynn. Oh, Continental Drift, not like the regular Ice Age. He was in Tomb Raider. Oh, he's uncredited in Tomb Raider. Fighting with My Family, Stardog and Turbocat, Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob. He was Merlin. That's funny. So he's been in some stuff.
Big Train.
Big Train. I like that. And he's been. Oh, he was in Super Nanny. He was the narrator. He was in Phineas and Ferb for 2 episodes.
Huh.
He was in Doctor Who as Santa Claus. That's right.
Oh!
That's right. I remember that. And I remember being like, oh, they got a guy named Nick Frost to play Santa Claus. How perfect is that? So yeah, he's been in some stuff. He's
That's cool.
quintessential British actor. Surprising he didn't show up in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You know.
You know what my favorite moment of the movie was? My favorite moment was the girl that they always kept running into. What was her name? Yvonne?
Oh yeah, the like alter egos Shaun, like anti-Shaun.
Yeah.
Like they were going the opposite directions. She's like the opposite of his personality. She's like bubbly and has it all put together and whatever. I was
And it was kind of like a reverse role, like
Yeah.
with, like, oh, this is my boy, this is my husband, and his mom and her friends, and
Yeah.
my brother, and as they were walking past each other, it was like looking into a different universe, and I was like, oh,
It is one of the few moments in the film that's there and serves no purpose to the plot, but is still funny, and you're glad it happens. You know, because she shows up at 3 different points.
yes,
At the very beginning, when they run into each other in the street, which was like, oh, okay, so they're introducing another love interest. Then not at all.
and then when they
in
run
the
into
alleyway.
when they run into each other going to the Winchester,
Yep,
and then at the end when the British Army comes in and starts shooting all the
zombies. Also, again, a realistic portrayal of a zombie movie because it's like, yeah, and then the military shows up and just sort of cleans up
where were
shop.
you the whole time?
They were getting ready. They were, they were probably
Please, they were hiding.
They were hiding. Yeah, no, this isn't this isn't police officers. This is the actual military. Yeah, but no, in seriousness, I mean, it presumably takes a while to draw up like a good plan and get intel and deploy like that, but it makes sense that, I mean, to me, it makes sense that it would take a little while for a proper military response.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's only
but
like a day. It was like less than a day, wasn't it?
How do you feel? How do you think the actual army will?
How do I think they will deal with the incoming zombie apocalypse?
How long do you think they would actually take to respond? Like in all actuality.
I mean, like a day. I mean, how long does it take them to respond to any natural disaster, or like send out the National Guard or whatever? How quickly were people on site after Katrina? Then again, I suppose a storm is a little bit different because it goes away.
You're talking about a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, and that doesn't tend to go away, but it's
usually
still
the first people to die are usually the scientists.
Well, in a stereotypical scenario, at this point, it was just sort of people on the street, I guess. I mean, I don't think anyone's done a real deep dive into the logistics of a zombie invasion.
I'm pretty sure there's a video of this type, YouTube.
Or from this movie specifically. But I'm just thinking, like, okay, they've got to figure out what's going on. They've got to figure out the area and cordon off the area, and then they can finally move in and start clearing up zombies. And that doesn't happen in only a couple of hours. Especially if zombies are not like a well-known thing, which they don't seem to be in this universe. They seem to be in pop culture, at least, because Ed uses the term zombie, and Shaun is like, don't say that. Don't call them that. You know?
I like how it says in this Wikipedia article, it says, in this film studies, the film was seen as a product of post 9/11 anxiety as well as a model of
Transnational.
transnational comedy. The spread of zombinism in the film has been used as a modeling example for disease control.
So basically, I assume that means that the way that zombification works in the film has sort of been used, to create simulations. I don't know. Um,
I mean,
but
you gotta think about it. They put a lot of zombies. They put zombies in a lot of things nowadays.
yeah, I mean, this is. I wonder where this landed in terms of zombie popularity, right? Because this is. When did Dawn of the Dead come out? Which is obviously what the title of this is
Uh,
parodying. Uh,
19 something.
oh, that was also 2004.
Oh, it was 2004.
Oh, the original one was 1978.
1978.
Okay.
I've seen the original Dawn of the Dead.
Have you really?
I have. I've
Would
also
you?
seen the original. I've also seen the 2004 Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
I am heavily interested in zombies. Why do you think I'm writing a zombie book?
Yeah. Well. This is it's sort of the George Romero basically created zombies as we know them.
I
Not.
heard that Train to Busan was really good too.
I have heard that is good as well. I mean, they stole my idea, but you know, uh, but
I
that was
honestly would like to watch.
1968 was Night of the Living Dead, but I feel like they've reached, they've only been sort of growing in popularity.
I know.
What were you saying?
Um, sorry, I'm like half awake over here. I should have took a nap.
You're a zombie. She's trying to bite me.
What was I trying to say? I would honestly like to watch Train to Busan.
Yeah, I think that'd be worthwhile, but we've got a lot of other
We
things
do
on
have a
this
lot of other
list.
things, but I think I would like to go back and watch World War Z, and I would like to go back and watch Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead, and I think that'd be like cool
Hmm.
around Halloween time. Do all our spook movies.
Spooky movies. Well, yeah, we
Spooktacular.
should have been doing that, but here we are. This is part of the Cornetto Trilogy, as mentioned, but um, I I like how they have to abandon the car. That's just sort of one of the things that happens.
Oh
Everything
yeah.
everything that revolves around the car and crashing the other
The
car on
whole-
purpose so they could take the Jaguar.
I would like to see the scene of him crashing the damn car. I just want to see it. Like, they're in the house, they're talking, you come out and the car is crashed.
Yep.
Like, how in the hell did you do that in under 30 minutes? Not even 30 minutes, more like 15.
Well, how long do you think it's going to take to crash a car? It takes like a minute. He gets in it, he drives around the block or whatever, and drives into the pole. It's not that hard. It's not like it was an accident.
No, it was a collision.
Yeah, it was a collision. We don't call them accidents anymore. You want anything from the shop? Cornetto. My dad has seen this movie, and I mentioned, just offhandedly said, oh, go down to the Winchester, get a pint, wait till this all blows over. And he cracked up.
I liked this movie, though. This movie was a good movie.
Yeah, so many good lines like that in these movies overall. I keep repeating the line about farmers' mums from Hot Fuzz, and go down to the Winchester and wait till this all blows over. And I love the sort of setup for that. You know?
You know what's funny? As we were watching this, when we watched it in the beginning, you cut to Shaun and Ed in the Winchester, and they're drinking and everything, and then Ed is playing the arcade cabinet.
Oh my god! Yeah.
And then they get to the Winchester. They get to the Winchester, and
After the zombies.
after they've warded off the zombies for now, and Ed just goes up to Liz and like, you got a quarter?
Yeah.
Or you got a pound or whatever?
Yeah.
And freaking they're like, all we have to do is keep quiet, and then you just see him turn it on,
Yep.
put the quarter in and turn it on, and they're like, "No,
He's such a
what are
screw
you
up.
doing?" And I'm just like, "What did you expect?"
Ed is such like a lovable doofus of a character, honestly. Um, it is again these characters are marvelously written, and I feel like that sort of comes apart with in my favorite scene, um, because it's just all sorts of random stuff that's coming up, like David and Diane and uh their whole like you know
Relationship.
yeah their whole relationship and you were dating me so you could get close to Shaun. Oh, yeah, I was. You know. Um, Also, I love the counting of the bullets. I really thought that it was going to turn into a guns a-blazing thing with the Winchester. Because it's sort of like a Chekhov's gun that doesn't work. Obviously there's the
Yeah, yeah, they
Winchester.
think it doesn't work. Shaun's like, "It doesn't work,"
Yeah.
and Ed's just persistent. It works. It works. It works.
No, I mean like the concept of Chekhov's gun.
Oh,
Whereas, it's showed off at the beginning, and Ed is making up all these crazy stories. Also a great scene. Also one of the two scenes in this movie that's completely improvised, or, decently improvised, is when he's describing all the bar patrons.
oh, it was improvised.
Yeah. At least the actual language of it was. And the actual descriptions were. And so they show off the Winchester itself, and then they have like 26 shells or whatever for the Winchester during the actual, dealing with the zombies. And
Don't call them.
and it actually matters. Like, I didn't count the bullets, obviously, but I expected it to turn into sort of like, like in Hot Fuzz, where it's a total guns a-blazing. Like, it doesn't matter how much ammo he has. He's just going to go nuts. He's going to shoot
him
everything.
Walking in on the horse.
Yeah.
I'll never get over that scene of just him walking in on the horse.
Yeah. Yeah, with all the, just strapped.
Just strapped and loaded and ready to go.
But it doesn't turn into that. And it gets down to like, oh, they've got 2 shells left. They get totally cornered in the bar. I thought that was going to be a turning point where they start to beat back the zombies, and I was thinking this is going to be completely ridiculous. But
No.
it wasn't. They lose. They lose pretty badly. They were totally screwed if the army didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Which again is sort of like a normal. This is what would happen in a zombie apocalypse. That I feel like doesn't get addressed in a lot of zombie media, because you want to have the good guys win. You want to have the humans win. You want to have we found the cure and we're going to save the day, instead of like an ending where maybe a couple people survive and the rest of the world is zombified. Of course, the intermediate is this, where the army shows up and saves the day.
So
but
did they specify that they found a cure? Or
no.
It says it returns to normal.
No, but they didn't find a cure, but they did manage to contain all the zombies. And the other ones are used for like game shows and stuff. Or, whatever. Probably, maybe not the first time that the concept came out of zombies like retaining their, like, some form of memory, like their basic desires and instincts. But that's also that way in The Dead Don't Die, but more so. I can't wait to show you that movie. Again, I've mentioned it before. It's not a good movie. It is carried by the fact that, by the dynamic duo of Bill Murray and Adam Driver as the lead characters. But this is not that. This is a genuine, like, for the most part, although I wish we had gotten more time with David and Diane as like a uh-oh. With, what was I saying?
David and
Yeah,
Diane.
with their sort of like love quadrangle.
Yeah, whatever they have going on there, they need to figure that stuff out, man.
Well, they don't need to anymore.
Well, yeah, they don't need to figure it out anymore. They're both dead.
Also, I do like how it was very clearly like their friends dragging them down, because after the apocalypse, Liz and Shaun are just perfectly happy together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I do wish we had more time with some of these characters to flesh them out a little bit more, because the interactions do come a little out of left field. But it's all stuff that's like, oh crap, like, oh, I'm just learning this T now. Not like, well, that doesn't make any sense for the character. It's just something you don't know until that moment. And it doesn't really become relevant. It just creates a point of tension for a moment in the middle of this much larger catastrophe. But it also doesn't really affect the much larger catastrophe. You know,
not really.
It's not one of those contrived. The characters get all mad at each other, and then, oh, no, sorry,
They'll kill each other.
Yeah, we'll move past that and we'll move past that and like take on the bigger threat and win and save the day. Again, this is not a movie about saving the day. This is a movie about surviving. Yes, surviving long enough. You know what they didn't do, which thank God, which every horror movie does. Again, it's not a horror movie, but you know,
it's a romantic comedy. But
they
with zombies,
didn't go upstairs. I feel like everybody makes that mistake, quote unquote, in the horror movie scenario, where you go up the stairs into like the second level and then you can't get out. They went down into the basement, and then they did have a way out. So sort of turn that around. Then turn
I
that.
thought you were talking about like upstairs, like in the house. I'm about to say they went upstairs. He went upstairs.
No, I mean when they were cornered in the bar.
Oh.
And I mean, yeah, I kind of thought they were going to run into that issue when he was getting Liz out of her apartment. We'll get Liz. No, we'll go to the Winchester, have a pint, wait till this all blows over.
Do we want to jump into star ratings?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.
I'm going to give it a 4 too.
It's pretty good. I would watch it again. Maybe it deserves higher than a 4. Maybe I've just been mean to it. Mean to movies lately. But I do think it deserves a 4. What did I give Hot Fuzz?
Give it a 4.5.
I gave it a 4.5. Then okay, I think that's fitting.
Did you give it a 4?
Where's Hot Fuzz?
You gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4.5.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I don't know. The humor isn't as punchy in this movie as it is in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, no, I like Hot Fuzz. I prefer actually Hot Fuzz over this movie, honestly.
What?
I'm kind of hoping that At World's End is a lot more funnier than both these movies combined.
More funnier?
More funny.
Just funnier.
Just funnier.
It won't be, but...
Don't correct me. Oh.
I will correct you. Stop biting me.
I'm trying to infect you.
Yeah, with what? Love of raccoons?
Yeah.
No.
So you'll let me get a raccoon?
No.
I'm feral.
Jesus Christ.
This is just me being insane because I haven't slept since I got up this morning to go to work.
That's normally how most people do it, you know. It's 6:45 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I've been up for a whole 12 hours.
That's not even a normal day's length of hours.
The point is, I was supposed to take a nap when I got home, and I fucking didn't, okay?
Okay, well, as long as you're not blaming me for that, because it wasn't my fault. I can't remember what the hell I was gonna say now. The humor. I keep wanting to say like there aren't as many shots of door handles in this one.
Oh my god,
that's what
there
I
were
said.
so many.
That's what I said. Like
you said
5
like
minutes
15 seconds into it, and you're like, oh wait, there it is.
Yeah, and they did some of those like smash cuts with like drawers and stuff when he was organizing the thing. Also, you know what?
Or when they were loading the Winchester.
Yeah, they do have a few of those sequences. I really like Shaun getting hammered and then writing like "Get life together" on the fridge and then falling asleep in the chair.
And then his mouth's like...
Yeah.
Then he's like, oh, I hate my life.
Yep. And he just goes outside and there's an apocalypse going on. You know? I love... and it's one of those things, and I keep calling out like the obvious points of comedy in this film, but they have so many callback moments. Some aren't even that far apart, like when he goes to get the Cornetto, and he has like the exact same interaction, walk across the street.
Oh, with the runner.
Trip on the curb.
And the runner's running by, the guy jogging, running by.
Yeah. And then, he's waiting at the counter and eventually just leaves the cash there, which is unlike previous where the teller actually showed up. There's like the bloody handprints on the fridge.
And he slips on the floor. He's very oblivious to everything that's going on around him.
Yep, because he's hungover as hell.
Mm-hmm.
He's got red on him. You got red on you.
You got red on you.
Yeah, I'm wearing a red shirt. I would kind of hope I have red on me.
No, you're wearing a transparent shirt.
I'm wearing a transparent shirt. You wish.
Yeah.
Simp.
Shut up. My God.
Anyway, so that's the realist.
That's Shaun of the Dead.
That's Shaun of the Dead. If you have seen Shaun of the Dead or any of the other parts of the Cornetto Trilogy, we will be doing World's End, and we did Hot Fuzz 2 weeks ago.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, but if you have comments, concerns, questions, statements, clarifications, trivia...
why I'm biting Ellis and why I'm cranky.
Yeah, well, I feel like that goes under questions. Concerns. I said concerns.
Excuse me.
Wow.
Sorry. I got a hair
And
mouth.
gross.
It's our son's hair.
Why?
Don't ask me.
You mean the dog's hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why. But,
Because he gets too up close and personal, that's why.
Yeah, you love it. He's a good boy.
Subscribe so we can reach 100 subscribers so we can change the, the URL?
Change the URL, yeah. It's still, we're getting closer. But,
yeah, we're at, 78?
79.
Nice.
We're close. Why is that nice? Let's go watch a movie.
Bye, guys.